Let's just go through the mail today. First one here, I've cheated and already cut the box open. And what we have is a Telecaster pickup. Those of you with sharp eyes may notice that this is not a modern Telecaster pickup. How do you know that? Well, because it's here at Rewind Electric. Now, there are some signs here that we can use to tell that, but let's see what the owner has to say in the repair and modification request form, which did not do so well in shipping, but it is legible, so okay. Alrighty. And it says this guy here is from a pre-CBS Fender, early 1955 white guard. Super cool. Alright. Neck pickup fails. Okay, open sound, or open, solid, dry sounding, one-piece ash and blonde finish is a description of the guitar. And the pickup fails. So, let's see how it fails. Now, I'm not going to actually repair this unless it's very straightforward, but I do like to give these things kind of an initial quick check just to kind of know what I might be up against. Cover's a little loose. And 2.73 nanofarads, but I mean, I measure 1.2, so yeah, that's that doesn't give us much information or hope. I was just reading wide open. Yeah, that's working. Wide open. Now, if you'll notice here, let me look here. Notice the ground. Can you see that? Has been lifted. It's disconnected from the cover. I don't know if that's showing up. This lead here, that's got to show up. What this is it's just a continuation of the black lead that passes through the eyelet, and it's supposed to solder to this tab right here. And what that tab is, that's just a continuation of the cover mounting tab. So that grounds the cover to the black lead, and it's disconnected. It looks like it's not been cut. It looks like it's come off. It could have been broken off intentionally, but it also could have just not been connected great to begin with. Chrome's hard to solder to. Fender left the tips of these brass. You can see that here. It wasn't chromed all the way to the bottom. So they also left the tip of this one brass, which actually makes it quite easy to solder to. Brass is great for soldering. But sometimes those are lifted because the pickup hums, or someone wants to reverse the polarity. Hums because the polarity was reversed, I should say, or someone wants to reverse the polarity without it humming and grounding out other things. Or maybe just also it is done sometimes to make the pickup sound a little bit brighter. That may or may not be a good thing. Just really depends on a lot of stuff. I'm not going to get into that today. So anyway, that not being connected doesn't concern me, but since it's not connected, we can take some independent measurements from both the start and the finish of the coil to the cover. See if the cover's shorted to anything. 85 mega ohms, so that's basically nothing. And entirely open. Okay. Yeah, alright, well, that's about as far as the initial inspection goes. Other than a visual, I don't know if you'll see that on the video. I'm trying to show it on the camera. I do not see anything unusual about the start or stop of the coil wire connecting to these eyelets or these leads. That all looks like electrically sound connections to me, but we'll look further. We'll check it out. Since this is already disconnected, we can remove the cover without creating any further unoriginality. The coil is lacquer dipped. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe this camera can see it better. Can we see in there maybe? Gosh, it's hard to focus. You can kind of see under the cover and where that coil sits. You can see that there's lacquer on the outside of the coil. Obviously the bobbins are lacquer dipped, but on the neck pickups they often were also dipped in lacquer again after the coil was wound. Not wax like the bridge, wax compound. That's Leo's exact wording. Okay, so that's that for now. It'll be repaired. And if I remember who the owner is correctly, we had a conversation and we'll use some new old stock wire, which, let's see. Likely it'll be this stuff right here. Oh no. Probably this one. I don't know if you can see that. That's the original stuff. But I'll take some measurements off of the existing coil wire if we need to rewind it, both the insulation thickness and the copper core thickness, and I'll find something that matches. I have not a lot of new old stock wire at the moment. I have been kind of burning through it and not replenishing my supply. It's very hard to come by, very expensive, and when I buy it, it's often no good for use in guitar pickups. So it gums up the wire feeds in the machines. I'll show that another time. The traverse mechanisms and the nozzles. So it's kind of a pain to use it. It's very expensive. It's a huge pain to find it and to buy it. I don't know how long I'll be continuing to offer it. I'd like to, especially for stuff like that, like vintage repairs. I'd really like to be able to offer the original stuff, but it gets harder and harder. 12 years into my doing this as my only job professionally, it's worse every year. Anyway, that pickup is salvageable and restorable with the right wire and with the right attention to detail, rewinding it. But all Fender pickups will eventually die.